So I'm just defining what all syllabus might be there. So one is your average speed and velocity. Second, related to your non-uniform motion, in which there will be your calculus, the calculus which we had learned about the differentiation part. Only the differentiation part, nothing related to your integration is there. Yeah, Rohan, tell me.
So you had told that you would take one lecture on calculus. When would you take that?
Yeah, that complete calculus. No, that complete calculus I will just take. Let us
Okay,
happen this once this test is being done. No? After that we can just have that one.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anand.
So can you just write the formulas along with?
Yeah, I'm just writing all the formulas. I'll just define first of all the content which is going to you have to revise for your screening test. So there
Okay,
should not be any confusion at the end moment that how much I need to learn more. Okay, so I'm just listing them out. Then I'll just give the formulas related to everything so that it will be a quick revision also. Yeah, yeah, Archit.
Yeah, so because
Ah,
the differentiation part is a little new to us, so it will be really appreciated if you would just revise that part because it's a little confusing for us.
okay, fine. One or two questions I'll just revise. Not a problem.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Dhruv, quickly tell me. Yeah,
Can you send some more
your voice is not clear, Dhruv.
Okay. Can you send some extra questions?
Yeah, I'll just give some. Yeah, Riddhi.
So I had a doubt regarding uniform acceleration.
Yeah, tell me.
So in the motion worksheet, we had to identify whether zero point 0.2 times t was uniform or non-uniform. So that
Hmm.
was non-uniform because it varies with time. So had it been zero point 0.2 meter per second square, that'd be uniform, right?
It's a constant acceleration.
So then, like, when would it be uniform?
Uniform word is specified whenever it is moving with a constant value of a. It is given in your NCRT also, like in ninth standard NCRT. When we define uniform acceleration, in that they are specified. It depends upon the value. So
Okay,
it is not being given that it is uniformly increasing or uniformly decreasing. Nothing like that. Okay.
okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
So for reference, you can just refer the ninth standard NCRT textbook also. There it is clearly specified the definition of a uniform acceleration. Vanch,
Sir, can you please give the solution for the non-uniform motion worksheet?
solutions. It was discussed, na, the entire worksheet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, I'm not getting 1 to 2 questions from that worksheet.
You would have sent me on WhatsApp, na, directly.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So directly I will just send you the solution. Because
Yes,
some
sir.
of them I have already checked. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the syllabus which will be included related to this part. Okay, so average speed and velocity, I think so the sir already explained, which I'm getting from the chat. For non-uniform calculus, I'll just move to the worksheet questions which we had. Yeah, for this one, like when we had your instantaneous values. So suppose if it is displacement given, and from displacement, if they ask you the value for velocity, so from displacement by differentiation you can get the velocity, Now you can clearly see over here there are two terms. So those who haven't understand what is differentiation, first you need to identify which are the terms. So two terms are there, 3t and 5. If I check out for 3t, 3t is your coefficient as well as variable. 5 is simply a constant. How I check a variable? Variable is nothing but the time. The term which will have time function in it will be a variable. So 5 is not having any time function in it. No t variable is included. So it is a constant. So whenever you apply the derivative, that is d by dt, because you're going to differentiate that with respect to time. So when you differentiate, first of all, it goes to both the terms 3t and 5. When you go for the first term, your derivative acts only on the variable. So your 3 will remain as it is. 3 is not going to change. But your t will be differentiated as per the formula t raised to 1. So for that we have the differentiation formula for t raised to n. The formula is n into t raised to n minus 1. Means you can just remember in a simple way that suppose if t is given, the derivative will be 1. If t square is given, the derivative of that will be 2t. If t cube is given, the derivative of that will be 3t square. And it goes on. So you can see the power comes down and the power gets reduced by 1 in the answer part for your variable. And whenever it is a constant, when there is no variable in it, that time you can say the differentiation is 0. Why it is 0? Because the function is not changing. 5 means it is simple number. Yeah, Park? Park?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, I am new and I haven't finished with all the previous lectures of motion in 1D.
Okay.
And tomorrow is the test, so what should I do?
Just read whatever basic things you know. Like if basic motion equations, application of those things, if you know that and solving average speed and average velocity, only this much part you learn. You can skip your calculus part.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Suhani?
So there's no integration, right?
Yeah, no integration.
So if we know all of the things you listed out and their applications were done, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Hasini?
Sir, are you going to do questions on graphs or it will come in the test?
It can come in the test.
So are you going to discuss it?
Yeah, I will discuss once.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so this is one type of the question which can come. No, we don't have to go for the integration. The paper is completely easy. If you will have attended the lecture carefully. There is a second type of question again I have given in which your x was given in the form of your quadratic. So again when you differentiate, see again there are three terms where the differentiation operator has gone. And for every term if you just check on, for the first term 7t square. 7t square again I said the coefficient remains the same. It will remain same 7. But what about t square? Just see over here t square becomes 2t. Similar for the next term. 2 is a coefficient that will remain same. And what about t? See t answer is 1. And what about 6? 6 doesn't have t in it. So derivative will be 0, constant. So see again I'm applying the same things. I'm getting the answer is 4t plus 2. And since they are asking the velocity at a particular time, 4 seconds, so put t as 4. You get your answer as 58. So that was one type of question. Yeah, Unip. Arpit, quickly tell me. Arpit?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah, what do you want to ask?
sir, in the previous case, the velocity came 3 meter per second.
Yes.
Can we say that it is moving with uniform velocity?
Yeah, it's a uniform motion. But this case you are getting V as 14t plus 2. Means if you substitute the time value, it is going to change every time. Okay, so it is not your uniform motion, it is your non-uniform motion.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Vansh.
Sir, for
Hmm.
the questions are only going to come from the notes, not from outside, sir.
Only related to the notes. See, whatever part I have taught, only
So
from
means
that thing.
calculus will come completely or only the part you have
No,
taught?
only the part I have taught. How many formulas I have taught? I have taught only two formulas.
Yes, sir.
One is t raised to and other is constant. And only
Sir,
differentiation I have taught.
because
Hmm.
sir, in Chamber Center, calculus is already taught.
No, see, I am not at all related previously what was done. I am
Sir,
related
so
to
I
what
thought
I have
it
taught.
can come. That's why.
No, so now I am just
Okay,
making it
sir.
clear. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Dhruv.
So
Yeah.
that did
Dhruv, your voice is not
I
pretty clear.
went through all the
Dhruv,
slides
just
and I saw.
on the group. Yeah, Dia.
So when you're like revising, so could you
Hmm.
please revise the derived formulas for the third type? So like the throw upwards from a height.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
went through all.
Yeah, yeah, Dia. I will just. Okay, and also the third type of question which I had given for the differentiation was if it is given in terms of I, J, and K. Again, if you differentiate, it will go to each and every term. Just apply the formula. For t, differentiation should be 1. T square, it should be 2t. And 6, it will become 0. Coefficients will remain the same. Coefficients not going to change. See the answer. Here it is given in the form of I and J. Now just check for the four options. If the four options is given as a pure number, that means you need to find the resultant of I and J. Root of 7 square plus 16 square. Or else if it is given in terms of I and J, you write the answer same. Yeah, Jaini, I specified already. The non-uniform motion is going to be there. And similarly for acceleration, acceleration is your differentiation of velocity. So same formula is to be applied, but the equation will be for velocity. Same two formulas. Formulas are not changing. Suppose if the displacement is given and they ask you acceleration, means I need to differentiate twice. So that even we had, first we found the velocity, and even I said the question need to be corrected. So it was 7 to 6 given, actually it is 0 0.7, 0 0.2 and 0 0.6. So not to get confused. Yeah, the questions will have four options. So this is a question with the decimals. So once differentiate, you will get velocity. Then again, you differentiate, you will get the value of acceleration. So means you need to differentiate it twice and just check the final answer. It is time dependent. So your acceleration is time dependent. That means acceleration is not uniform. So I think so. The questions related to non-uniform motion are pretty clear now. So just remember these three basic formulas. For t derivative is 1, t square it is 2t, and t cube it is 3t square. You won't get confused. And constant, the derivative is 0. That's it. Coefficient will remain unaffected for the calculation. Okay, moving this, whatever the motion equation we had. Yeah, it's very easy paper. You will complete it in a very shorter time. Okay, so one formula was related to your displacement in nth second, the formula you need to remember, that is u plus a times n minus half. Whenever see nth second is nothing but related to the last second, last 1 second. So if it is for last 1 second, then directly I can apply the formula u plus a into n minus half. Then we had the example also related to the question how it will be asked for your nth displacement. So I'm talking about these three types of questions. One type is for free falling body, where certain conditions were assumed. Free fall, words which will be given for free fall: freely dropped, released, or you can say a free falling. So only three type of words can be used in it. So whenever such conditions will come, directly you need to answer u will be 0. Yeah, Akshan, tell me quickly what you have.
So in the kinematics model, there's one thing second that if a body is projected from the top,
They're just specifying projected. They have not specified with certain angle. That means it is vertical projection.
So in that case, then h is equal to ut plus half gt, right?
H is equal to ut plus half gt square from a certain height.
So it is projected from a certain height means it is thrown with some speed from a certain height, right?
From a certain height. So and h is the height above which he is standing already. Right? And you are asking for the displacement equation when it reaches the ground, when the ball reaches the ground. So it will be minus h is equal to ut minus half gt square.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. No cutoff marks and all are being discussed. Yeah, Archit. Okay, so after substituting the conditions, free fall, the three conditions directly you have related to the question was also given. So for us, only the conditions are required. Displacement as h, acceleration downwards, it is accelerating, so it is 9.8, initial velocity as 0. And that said, there are two methods to have a look on it. One, you can go as per the definition of the gravity, that towards the earth it is going to accelerate, velocity increases, so a is positive. Or the second case, you can say the second method to solve is nothing but using the coordinate system, in which all the vectors in the downward direction will be taken negative, all the vectors in the upward direction will be taken positive. So either of the one method you can use. The questions which are given in the notes are your related to the definition, that if it is downward, acceleration is positive. So see, as per the question also, I use the same thing. Now since all the data, you need to just refer the data what all values are given. Once the values are known, you will get to know what formula exactly to apply. Just apply that formula, you will get your answer. So since it was specified dropped, so I got this condition by default: initial velocity and acceleration. Gravitation, if g value is not specified, take it as, if g value is specified, then use whatever is being specified on it. Yeah, Vansh, which example you're talking about?
So free falling body is like the balloon example that you gave on the paper before this one. So sir, can you please explain the second method for that?
Second method is nothing but like if it is your downward, na. So since anything coming downward, you take all the vectors as negative. Displacement also you take negative. Okay. Yes, acceleration also you take negative, and velocity direction also you take negative, because it is directed downwards.
So same
answer
formula.
Yeah, same answer you will get. Yeah, it won't change.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually that formula, what was that formula? V is equal to GH or V square is equal to, that was given on the right.
In all the, that was substituted, the conditions were substituted in the three motion equations.
So, sir, that formula was the final formula for
Yeah, that's the
that free
formula, direct
falling ball.
formulas. Yeah, direct formulas to get the answer. Or else you
Okay,
can apply
sir.
the basic formula and get the answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Vectors part the related to kinematics that will come. There are 10 questions, physics, every subject. Yeah, Hasini.
So I just wanted to clear that when gravity acts towards the motion of the that object, then the gravity is taken as positive, right?
Yeah, correct.
And when it's like
Against.
opposite to the direction of the object's motion, then it's taken as negative.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so that was one type of questions. The first type. All these questions so you can directly check out also. The second type of examples. Okay, the second type was vertically upwards from the ground. So during that time, you can take displacement S will be h, the maximum height which will be attained. Acceleration will be minus g, it is moving against the gravity, and when it reaches the maximum height, the velocity will be zero. It stops when it reaches the top. And the displacement will be zero when it returns to ground. Shreya, it's already being shared. Motion in one dimension notes are already being shared. PDF. It's the same. So if I just assume the first three conditions, like for achieving the maximum height, if I just substitute all these values in the three motion equations, I'll just get these three simplifications. Either remember the simplified formula directly or just remember the conditions and substitute in the answer. So the main thing over here to remember is whenever it reaches the maximum height, the velocity v is zero. This is most important to remember. Your final velocity for reaching the maximum height is zero. And when they talk about the total motion means the object is coming back on ground, you can say displacement is zero. The two most important conditions. Depending upon that, you can simplify the question on based on the data whichever will be given. This was one type of example based on it. With a certain velocity, and then it was asked how much time it will strike back the ground. So that time I took the displacement as zero. So in the first case, displacement was taken as h because I need to take to reach the maximum height, but I took final velocity as zero because at the maximum height the velocity becomes zero. And when they were talking about it striking back on ground, that time the total displacement was taken as zero. So that is just a simplification which you need to remember for second type of questions. Then we had certain examples. You can just go through these examples, whatever I have given, you will get a kind of idea. Even if you don't understand, you can just connect me on WhatsApp. I'll just explain those again. Because now we don't have that much time. And the third type was related to vertically upwards from the top of a tower. Now, this was the case where if I'm talking about the same level, you say displacement is zero. Acceleration will be minus g, final velocity v will be zero if it reaching the maximum height, and displacement will be minus h when it returns to ground. Diagrammatically also I just explained that. This is the complete motion for coming back on the ground. So for this much displacement, you can say it will be zero, but it has to come back on the ground, it will be minus h. Why it will be minus h? Because the displacement covered is just opposite to the initial velocity. So the velocity was upward and the displacement which was covered, that was downward. The two vectors oppositely directed, hence displacement s was taken as negative when it returns to ground. That was the only reason. And your acceleration was related to the previous motion, that is nothing but against the gravity. So you take your G as minus 9.8 or minus 10. And And using those, you can just simply get the answer. So see over here also, in this question, a stone thrown upward with a velocity from the top reaches the ground with a velocity 3u. Now I have taken v as minus 3u. Only reason that when it touches the ground, so if I just compare the velocities, because velocities are the vectors. See, the initial velocity was upward. When it hits the ground, the velocity is downward. So the final velocity direction and initial velocity direction are opposite. So if initial is taken positive, final will be taken as negative. So I wrote v as minus 3u. So whenever it is hitting the ground, if it is displacement or if it is final velocity, both should be negative. You will get your answers directly after that, substituting the basic motion equation formulas. So this is your third type. Anmol, you can request your, I'll just share in the IGSO group, Anmol. This PDF, if you have not received, I will just share. And those who have not received, just ping me on the WhatsApp. It's given velocity as 3u Garv, final velocity. And when it touches the ground, that time the motion is nothing but downward with respect to the initial motion. So the velocity vector when it hits the ground is opposite to that of the initial. Yes, Bhavin, you can. Yeah, Archit, tell me. Archit?
Yes, sir. What happened?
Yeah. Acha, no, your hand was raised. Jayani, quickly tell me. IIT?
So my doubt was that in the type 1, in the balloon example, they had given the initial velocity as because the balloon was moving upwards 12. So in that case of a free-falling body, there can be an initial velocity, right?
There will be an initial velocity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is just due to inertia. Yeah, Vansh.
So vectors are going to come?
Vectors means whatever part is related to motion in one dimension. Whatever part is being involved in this, only
So
related to
that
that.
vectors will not come now, which are in our first chapter of every module.
No, not that much deep. I'm just asking for whatever part is being used in motion in one dimension. Nothing but resultant formula, root
Yes,
of
sir.
that formula type. It can ask.
Yeah, magnitude and all.
Yes, yes, same.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Rohan, tell me.
So I did not understand why have you taken 3u as negative?
Direction is opposite when it hits when the ball hits the ground. The velocity with which hits the ground, that is downward, opposite to the initial velocity, and velocity is a vector. So if initial velocity you are taken as positive, so upward is positive. So for final velocity,
Negative.
since
Yes,
it was
sir.
directed downward, it's negative.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Ishan. Yes, Piyesha, you can.
Sir, so these all three types were the vertical motions, right?
All vertical projections, and even there are questions related to horizontal projections, like simple questions. It starts with initial velocity, it accelerates for some time and goes to final velocity. All that type of questions are also there.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Sarah. Dia.
Yes, so I had a question. So when you're explaining the balloon
Hmm.
question in the previous lecture,
Hmm.
you were like saying that it'll go to a higher height till its velocity is 0, and then it'll come down back to the ground. So won't that be type 3 and not type 1?
That becomes type 3.
Yeah.
Actually, it is not your free fall, but it has a certain velocity with which is being dropped. So it is your vertical motion only, okay, but it is being thrown from a certain height. thrown downwards.
So could you explain that question once, please?
So in that case, you need to just take the relative velocity of the balloon. Okay, so if balloon is moving upwards with a speed of 12 meter per second. So due to inertia, the stone inside it is also having 12 meter per second speed, which is directed upwards.
Yes, sir.
So whenever it is being released from that height, obviously that stone is already having a speed of 12 upwards. Okay, so when it is being released, you know, S will be the height, A will be your plus G. Okay, but here U is nothing but directed opposite to the motion, because motion is going to be downward
Yes,
and
sir.
the velocity which it has, it is upward. So your U will be minus 12.
Okay, sir. So
Okay,
it
so
being
instead
there
of
at minus.
taking, yeah, instead of taking 0, you will take the velocity of the balloon. And since it is moving upward, it will become minus since it is opposite to the motion.
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, welcome. Ishan,
Sir, what is inertia?
inertia, you can say nothing but the state of an object, the tendency of an object.
Sir, to do what?
Nothing but if an object is not moving, so it is at rest. So it is said to be have an inertia of rest. If
Okay,
the
sir.
body is moving, so it is nothing but your inertia of motion, because the body is tending to have in that state. So whenever the stone is also in that balloon, so balloon was moving, so stone is also moving now, because it was
Yes, sir.
within that balloon. So stone was
Yes, sir.
performing a motion, so it is having an inertia of motion. So
Okay,
during
sir.
a free fall, it was not at rest. It was in motion earlier due to the
So,
balloon.
sir, means any motion is inertia.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
yeah. Welcome. Yeah, the paper is simple, not to worry. So the formula is one was your average speed and average velocity, that I'm not defining. Your average speed and average velocity formulas was nothing but your total distance by total time. It looks simple, but the sums you need to carefully solve. So that was one type of formula, also related to your average velocity. That was nothing but equal to total displacement by total time. G value, it depends. If it is given, you go for whatever value is given. If not, you go for 10. And after that, you have the differentiation formula which you need to use. That if you have d by dt of any value, so suppose if it is t, you can say the derivative of that will be your 1. Then similarly for next, if it is your d by dt of t square, the answer will be 2t. And you can just move on for the further higher powers, like t by dt of, even I'll just give one more, of t cube will be your 3t square. Okay, that was related to uniform calculus, and that also you need to remember that velocity is equal to dx by dt and your acceleration is equal to dv by dt. Then motion equations were related to v is equal to u plus at, then s is equal to ut plus half at square, and third was v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So these three motion equations. Then the displacement in nth second, Sn, was given as u plus a times n minus half. You remember in this format, or else you can also remember this as u plus a by 2 the whole into 2n minus 1 after taking the LCM. Anyway, you remember. So these are the type of formulas which you need to apply. Then for a free fall, h is equal to half gt square, that also after substitution. Yeah, Karthik, tell me. Karthik? Yeah, Arav, all the people will be allowed to attend the lecture. Just we're applying some different strategy tomorrow. No, Shrestha. As we cannot take 0 because it has already attained certain height, Bernali. So we cannot take displacement as 0. Yeah, Shreya?
Sir, actually, I had some doubts regarding
Yeah.
the test of tomorrow. Like, your sir told that we will be divided into two batches,
Yeah.
according to our understanding.
Yes, correct.
So, therefore, we'll have different teachers, different like
No, no, no,
syllabus, and the
no.
level will be different.
Nothing, nothing, nothing. See what is happening now. Since all the students right now are mixed together, correct? So there are
Yes.
certain kids who have attended IGSO lecture last year also. So certain fundas are already clear to some of the kids, but certain kids are totally new to it. So
Yes.
the pace with which the things gets understood by a child varies. So a child which was already known earlier, so it's quick for him, and then he asks for more questions rather than going for the basic things. So it becomes a time waste for those kids. But at the same time, we cannot rush with the syllabus because there are certain new kids also who need to be explained with each and everything with a detailed part. So we are just forming two such groups so that currently also we are running two batches. So now we'll just have two batches in which one batch will have totally new kids for whom we need to go syllabus bit slow, and for one there will be win where we understand they knew the things very well. We can go with bit fast pattern. So that is the only difference which will be there. The content will be taught same to both of them. Teachers will be same both of them. Questions given will also be same to both of them. Okay.
Okay, so basically the time will differ.
Yes, yes, yes. Only reason is that, nothing else. Only reason is that.
Okay, sir. So
Yeah.
it will be based on the cutoff.
Yeah, it will be based on the cutoff. So even as a teacher, when I'm analyzing, I will get to know whom are understanding the factors very soon because these things that they might have learned earlier also. There might be some new kids this year who might have understood the formula very well. Who are a
Yes.
bit like you can say who are quick in grasping. So for them, we can
Yeah.
have one batch. Okay, so quick graspers will be in one batch. Then you can say one who takes the time will be in the other batch, so that more basic things can be explained to them, and they can be brought to that level again.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And one more thing, sir. The
Yeah.
module of calculus which sir gave in IGS, so
Mhm.
the questions which that module have, that kind of questions can come, right? Because it basically falls under calculus part only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I have included only differentiation. No integration is involved. So anything will be asked will be related to differentiation only. Formulas which will be asked that are only also two. Here, the two formulas which I have given. Nothing will be out of the box. Nothing will be out
Okay.
of the thing which I have not taught.
So that variable and constant formula, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same, same, same.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, so those who don't have, they can leave. Yes, Suhani, tell me.
Also for the module, like the answers aren't given. So like, is it possible for you to send the key? Like,
Module answers, someone had asked me and even has sent on something, some group. Which center you are, Suhani?
like I'm in Girgaon, but they put me into Dadar for now.
Okay. So you have my number.
Yeah, I'll message you.
You just post me. I will just send you the answer. Not a problem.
And so at the end, like both the batches will have the same syllabus covered, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. It is going to be the same. See, I am teacher. I know that there should be a justice with everyone. Okay, but I, at the same time, while teaching, I don't want that some kids are wasting their time because they already know the things. Okay, so accordingly, we can just have two groups. Yeah.
So all the difference is that one of the things they'll be taking a bit more time, like 1 month or
Yeah, one batch will take more time. More time also, you can say more of half an hour or 45 minutes. But at least the 45 minutes also matters for the one who already know the things.
something.
Okay, so that things we need to just do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, welcome. Srishta, the days will all be the same. Yeah, I think.
So can you show the type 3 page again?
Yeah, I'm just showing. Just a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Basic thing, like basic sheet which I have just given.
No, the
This
type
one?
3, yeah. So
Okay, yeah, tell me.
No, sir, I didn't have a doubt. I was just like a little confused with the blue part of it. Yes, I take a screenshot.
Yeah, just take a screenshot.
Yes, sir, done.
Yeah, Mahek, those who need the answer, just ping me on WhatsApp. I'll just forward. Those who haven't received yet. And those who need anything, just post me on WhatsApp so that I will just get to know what you all need. Banali, tell me.
So, if the IJS or results, or how will we know like which class we are in, like which group?
No, that will be posted on the group. That will be known to you accordingly.
Okay, so.
Yeah. Akshan?
So as for the balloon question, what is the equation? Can you just tell me the equation for to be framed?
Equation will be same, like if it is S is equal to ut plus half at square, in case they ask you the displacement, only the difference will be u will be minus. It will be minus 12 in that case. If they say
So the
you that
acceleration will be positive.
acceleration will be positive as the motion is downwards. Motion downwards, acceleration positive, motion upwards,
So
acceleration
I did
negative.
not understand one part, that if the packet is also moving with a speed of 12, so it will cover some distance above, right? So why don't we
So
consider?
let it cover, let it cover. But that only they are asking us to find the total displacement when it reaches the ground. So that is going to remain the same.
It will be zero if the total displacement will be zero.
Yeah, total displacement zero when it is on the ground and released from the ground and coming back on the ground. But when the balloon reaches a certain height, then it is dropped. So
Okay,
obviously,
so the
while covering
formula to be
a
framed is like my u should be positive and
hmm,
a and t should be also positive.
yeah, correct.
Okay, sir. So can you send this note which you are showing on the
Yeah, I
WhatsApp?
have my WhatsApp number.
So can you type it once? I don't know. I might have seen it.
Okay. Akshan, you're not in the. Okay, you're there.
Yeah, I'm there.
98697. Okay, I just sent on the private chat. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
yeah. Garv, tell me quickly.
Yes, sir. So, sometimes in the balloon question, you said we take acceleration as positive, but in this question you're shown on the screen is negative. So how do we,
Where? I'm taking negative. No,
right?
this is the like vertical motion. Na, you're throwing the object vertically. In the balloon section, you're dropping it down. Na? It is coming down already in the balloon question. You're inside a balloon and you're going to drop a packet. So the packet is going to come down. It is along the motion, positive gravity. But if I say I'm in the balloon and I'm going to throw it upward from the balloon, if I'm throwing it upward, then acceleration is negative. Why? Because the motion you're doing is
Contradicting.
opposite to the gravity. Yeah. So that will be negative. So any motion you're performing, if it is opposite to the gravity, it is negative.
Oh,
If you're doing that motion in the direction of gravity, it will be positive.
okay, sir. Understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Dia.
So in the non-uniform motion, so there
Hmm.
was in the worksheet. So there was a second question that had the integration. So will we be will you be asking those kind of questions?
Huh?
So in the worksheet, so non-uniform motion. So the second question had an integration sum.
Huh.
So will you be asking those kind of questions?
Only differentiation. Only differentiation. No integration. Only differentiation.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Welcome. Okay, then chalo. I'm just packing up the lecture. I also need to get prepared for the next lecture also. Okay, chalo then. Bye bye. Take care. All the best for tomorrow. Bye. Hope you all have a better exam. Just be positive. Remember the formulas. It will be all good. God bless you all. Bye bye.